Hello and welcome back to the Canon Factory, an elegant podcast for a more civilized age. And folks, not only is today Adam's birthday, not only was a couple days ago Ike's birthday, but really it's all of our birthdays because we have a new The Last Jedi trailer, and we're going to digest the heck out of it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to love it, and it's going to be great.
We must mention, though, Matt's not with us.
Yeah, our forever vigilant silent hero, Matt Robinson, has decided not to watch the trailer because he wants to stay visually pure for the film. We'll see how long that lasts, but as for now, he won't be here, and we'll see when he will be here. So you should tweet at him and make him want to come back.
But not spoilers. Just make him watch it.
Yeah, don't be mean. Ike has gone insane and has made a full 31-slide PowerPoint presentation. He has.
It's no joke.
It's no joke.
There's the present button.
He we've gone through everything frame by frame, so we're gonna go through it.
Yeah, well, not quite frame by frame,
but pretty much frame by frame.
I think without wasting a ton of my time, frame by frame. And actually, there's 31 slides. There's 57 takes, and there are a few slides that have multiple shots on them.
Well, there you go.
So it's like about 85% of the shots. Yeah.
But it's really helpful for us so that we don't have to sit here and just keep watching the trailer over and over.
Yeah.
We have a PowerPoint presentation of pretty much every scene from the trailer to sit right here and look at.
Yeah,
so.
there we go.
Ike also has pretty much the whole thing memorized to muscle memory.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not as good with the vocals as you are. You watch something once, you can memorize literally almost the lines.
All right, well, don't make me.
I'm not. Yeah, so I'm going to put you on the spot now. So
yeah.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that to you. But yeah, for the most part, I listened to it on repeat for a while just so I could kind of analyze it. But yeah, that's kind of.
So we've been hype since Monday night.
Real hype.
Yeah, I mean, here's my life. This is a little bit outside of this, but Monday night we get the trailer. I'm on cloud 9. I'm on top of the world, and then yesterday. For those of you who don't know, I probably love soccer as much as I love Star Wars, if not more.
Sorry, USA.
And the U.S. men's national team crashed out and broke my heart in ways that I didn't think could be broken by people I don't know. And so I'm drinking Mountain Dew to get hype because it has to be synthetic at this point. I can't be real. So we're gonna jump into it.
All right.
Ike, to kick us off, The Last Jedi trailer breakdown by Isaac Thomas Lacey.
Oh, yeah, there we are. Look at that. Oh, mention of my middle name,
Social
so now people
security
can start Googling me.
His social security number is...
Oh, I'm just kidding. It's not that big a deal. I don't think there's anything weird out there. So, yeah, first shot. Let's take a look here. I guess the first thing that I noticed about this shot, because I think I realized some things in this little exercise I did.
Overlooking the factory.
Yeah, we got Kylo overlooking the factory here, and I'll throw this up at least on the YouTube. So if you watch it on YouTube, you can watch it that way. And then we'll make this PowerPoint. I don't care if I make it available in the Google Drive, whatever.
Right.
So you guys can download this and kind of follow along. But the thing that I really loved about this trailer as a whole, that I think really stands out in this first shot, is the framing of Rian Johnson. And I mean, like, when I say framing, I mean like the artistic framing of each shot.
Sure. Shot composition.
Yeah, a lot of really good shot composition. He uses symmetry and lets things kind of do that. You guys are familiar with the internet, like cinematograph? Have you guys ever heard that before? Anyway, it's an interesting thing. It's essentially like the GIFs where like one thing will slightly move in it.
Uh-huh.
So it's like it gives that like still moment feel. It doesn't necessarily the shot isn't still, but it gives you a still feeling.
I got you.
You know, like it'll be like looking out, so
it's like just the waterfalls,
raindrops coming down, that kind of feel. He did that a lot in this.
Yeah, the sparks coming down.
Yeah, and it kind of evokes a really interesting feeling of like a stillness to the shot.
Right.
It admits some chaos, which I think is really cool, and I noticed that in a lot, and so I'm going to get that out of the way now because we see that in this first shot. But yeah. I mean, what'd you guys see? I mean, obviously, it looks like he's on like the Supremacy.
Yeah. Right. I believe the Supremacy was mentioned that it does have a construction site on it, and that is quite a bit of construction. You can see the AT-ATs or I'm trying to remember what the new ones are called.
AT-M6s.
The M6s. Yeah. That's right.
I mean, right away, first thing I noticed, he's not wearing his helmet.
And that's kind of capeless.
Yeah,
he is capeless. Yeah,
he looks a lot like Grandpa before he fell there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any shots that are similar to this in the other ones.
It's funny,
in
actually,
the prequels or anything.
His wardrobe kind of reminds me a little bit of Return of the Jedi Luke, like that black.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think of that
tunic.
Now. Yeah,
yeah.
I was thinking about how we're seeing him kind of. We saw Anakin good side, then Vader mask or whatever, and then we see Kylo start with the Vela mask and going opposite. So it's like the whole poetry it rhymes thing where you're seeing it then now go in reverse.
Oh yeah,
like going up to the mask in a triangle, then dropping back down.
It's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
I love it. Yeah, so I mean, there's not a lot to notice here.
Yeah.
I think it is important to notice the construction going on in the background because we see that later in the trailer in a different context.
Right. Yes.
So just note that. What's that?
Or what we think is.
Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean we see.
I feel like there's a pretty good strong case for it, but
right.
I think you're right. I don't think it would be necessarily confirmed by just seeing it. So yeah, that's that. I mean, we have
and we hear Snoke's voice.
Yeah, we do. Sorry, I missed that. So yeah, when I found you, which as we kind of go through here and as he's talking, I think it'd be important to know. What do you guys think? Who do you think he's talking to here? Is he talking to Rey? Is he talking to Kylo?
I think that's like the big mystery of the trailer.
I think I don't really know.
I think he's talking to Kylo.
Kylo?
I think.
What draws you that way?
I know most people that watch Star Wars think like they're trying to trick us on every twist and turn, and I think this is just straightforward because most of the time Snoke is talking, he's referring to only Kylo, or I assume he's referring to Kylo, and all the shots show Kylo in him. So I would assume he's talking to him.
Yeah, I mean it makes
sense. That
sense.
little misdirect though.
If you're looking at the person that you're talking to, I feel like that's what at least the editor intended, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I know they're trying to that's what they're talking to, but I still think.
I mean, I think the reason people might assume that he's talking to Rey is just that right when he finishes that thought, it cuts to Rey igniting the lightsaber.
So
it's like there's a lot of misdirect going on.
And then she kind of finishes her thought almost.
Yeah.
That like it's like he's kind of saying something. When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power, and beyond that something truly special. And then she immediately says, something inside me has always been there, and she starts talking almost to answer him. So I guess I get that point of it too. So
I am happy that at least two of my predictions came true in the trailer, which is that it would start with a Snoke monologue.
Yeah, that was
cool.
Literally not joking in my excitement, but still I fought through that, and I thought Richie was right before the trailer was even over. That passed in my mind.
Going off of our trailer predictions, I will say the sense of relief I felt when I saw the porg, and I was like, all right, still got my house. I take it to Sean.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, no, his was that your bet that there was no porg, or that there would be a Force Griffin? And
I said that there would be a porg.
Yeah, I think it was a porg, yeah.
Gotcha. That's right, and I was like, there's no repercussions there.
We're going to touch on it later, but Rey cracking the island kind of opens it up for a Force Griffin.
Oh, my goodness.
Super powerful being.
No.
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, God.
We'll see.
And if you haven't been keeping up with the 100 Days of Star Wars, we literally
just watched Mortis.
Just watched the Mortis arc.
Fully
and I was like, oh, my gosh, here we go. Brendan's going to be so on it this week.
Yeah, it did. I was like, oh, no, the Force Griffin's dying. Like, oh, here it is again.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Go ahead. Yeah, moving on to the next slide there. This is a crate. From what I have no reason to say that it wouldn't be crate.
Right.
The thing that I didn't notice until I watched it a few times was Kylo landing. That's Kylo's landing ship, his transport ship.
And the mini AT-ATs walking next to the ATM.
Yeah, so you can see the scale.
Which I think, sorry, Richie, I think is part of the poster that we got on the Force Friday when we got those T-shirts.
I didn't think about that.
I think it showed this scene as well.
Yeah.
I think you guys have read up on this a little more than me, but what do we know about Crate? Just in a word.
It was a former Rebel base.
Yeah.
Right.
They go into that in the Leia book.
Have you finished the Leia book yet?
I have not.
I haven't either. I'm about halfway through it. Basically, just the only thing that I've read so far in the Leia book is basically she realizes her dad is up to something and that there's something going on outside of the Empire, and she starts tracking it based on a fight that happens. And she narrows it down to two places. The first place she goes to is Crate, and her dad's been hiding stuff from her, and she stumbles upon her dad in this base and is like, Dad, what are you doing here? So so she's been there before, which we see. I mean, we see those shots of her kind of standing outside of it.
Right.
So basically, it's like an OG Rebel base.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think the Empire ever knew about it. Because
we'll see a little bit more
like.
in December when the comic comes out. The main Star Wars comics are going there.
Yes.
And it's called a miniseries called The Storms of Crate.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting.
So yeah, there's going to be an arc in the comics coming up too that I can keep you guys posted on. But that's not all that we know. I mean, I guess that's all we know. We and Brennan haven't finished Leia, but I don't think there's going to be a ton more to point out besides those.
Yeah, I mean, I've
things.
watched some trailer breakdowns of it, and I'm assuming all these people have at least read the Leia book or they've talked about it, and I feel like they would bring more to the table on Crate if there was more. So I think it's all we know is it's a former Rebel base.
Yeah.
Good point.
My only thing about the M6s, which I think is pretty cool, is we're seeing that the Empire First Order is learning, because the M6s have like these anti-tow cable spikes on their legs.
Yeah, but I mean, you still got the whole upper leg to get, but
yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to bring these things down. I think the cannon over their shoulders are sweet too. Yeah, or will they? It's a good point. So yeah, over the next one, also took me a few times to realize this here. I'm pretty sure that this is Crate, this shot of Kylo from the top.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's right after what we just saw.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the red minerals.
Yeah, it's almost like the bombers kind of have been dragging in and out of like the mouth of,
I could see that.
Where they've kind of dug some pits into the ground there.
That is Kylo's ship above the walkers, right?
Yes. That's his transport from the TFA when we see him land on Jakku.
And
I love that shit.
Yeah, it's dope.
And then we saw that in the Last Jedi trailer, or the poster that they released on Monday night before the trailer. You saw Kylo's ship is actually in that too. So I got really hyped when I saw that.
Right.
But I will say we can make comparisons to this of Vader invading Hoth with his troopers.
Yep. Or you can invade it to Anakin. It's a very similar shot when Anakin's going into the Jedi Temple with the clones.
Yes. Yeah. I saw that on Reddit. I put it in here. But that isn't an original thought for me. I wish it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, as he's kind of walking in and showing the clone troopers walking in behind him as he's going to kill the younglings and stuff.
Also, looks like he doesn't have the mask on either.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So.
Well, because I think Crate will be the second or third arc in the film.
Yeah, it seems like most people on the internet have been kind of claiming that it's going to be the climax, and I don't necessarily see their full logic. Besides that. I mean, we didn't see really anything about Starkiller, and that was the climax. And not that I can remember that we saw anything about Starkiller.
And we saw all the troopers on Starkiller when they were doing like almost looked like the Nazi-esque thing.
That's true.
But that's true. Know it was Starkiller.
Yeah, but I think like we didn't really think that it was going to be the climax of the film was going to be
true.
I think most people were thinking that Jakku was going to be that there was going to be some sort of fight on Jakku that was going to be the climax because they were playing it up in the game and all that stuff.
I know we talked about this in our Slack today, but I was a little disappointed we didn't see more of Canto Bite.
I think that's interesting that they kind of have withheld Canto Bite from us.
And DJ. We haven't seen DJ at all. We've only seen that one picture.
So I want to know how much of a mystery there is with those characters. We didn't see anything of Rose.
Not even a shot.
Right, not a single frame.
Not a single frame. All we have and it's kind of weird, is that shot of DJ from the
Entertainment Weekly.
The Entertainment Weekly, but even the other one, I'm blanking on her name.
Rose?
No.
Oh, Admiral Holdo.
Yes, Admiral Holdo.
Is that Laura Dern?
Yes, Laura Dern's character. Her shot in that was like they showed pictures of the set with her.
Yeah.
So it was like I don't even know if that's even really a shot of him besides just like, you know what I'm saying, like a framing of him.
Yeah, it was just a posing shot.
It's just a pose in a shot. Like I don't think it has anything. I wouldn't say it even has anything to do with the movie. So.
Yep.
But anyhow.
Yeah, sure.
So. I don't want to look too much into what's not there, though, either.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. I feel like if I look too much into it, I mean, I could... Everything in the world is not there, right?
Yeah, we can fall deep into speculation.
we could get a little crazy. But yeah, I think that's a good point, though, Brendan. Very... so yeah, again, I wanted to mention on that overhead shot, another cool, well-symmetrical framed shot with cool composure, which is like hasn't really been the shtick of Star Wars to have these kind of almost indie looking what's the guy's name that I'm thinking of, guys? Richie, do it for me here. Who am I thinking of? The guy who likes to frame shots.
Every Frame of Painting?
No, the movie. He makes the movies. Owen Wilson's in all of them.
Talking about Wes Anderson?
Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Almost Wes Anderson feeling shots in some of these with the ultra symmetry.
Oh, yeah, very
minimalistic. And he does it a lot. Even in the next one. I mean, you see it again. And we're in slide 4, and 3 of the 4 have been that way. Right. With Kylo kind of in what appears to be the throne room, reaching down for a saber. Also, Brennan brought this up in the chat, and I looked into it a little further. That is not his saber from The Force Awakens.
Okay, that's what I'm looking up right now to see if it is.
So yeah, I looked in where you're looking online there. So from what they put on display in the the official displays for The Force Awakens props,
right?
They used a metallic silver one, as well as if you go back and look in most of the shots that you could get a good look at it in The Force Awakens, it appears to be metallic and not matte black.
Really?
So it's either gotten a new paint job
or it's just bad lighting on it.
Well, it
No,
could be a bad lighting, but it
in
looks.
the trailer, it looks very black.
It would be hard, yeah, to,
and
to
especially
get a good look
with
at
how
it.
shiny that room is, I feel like you'd have some kind of reflection.
Yeah.
We
I
didn't
think
see
you're right.
ignited Kylo's saber, did we?
No, we didn't.
So
Well, so prior to this trailer, Disney put out 3 little teasers,
Right.
and one was on ESPN, and I could only find like someone taping their TV of it, and it showed Kylo igniting his saber, clenching his fist, and like that was it.
You're right.
So that was the extent of what we've seen so far of him igniting his saber.
Oh, it was one of those, like,
the little teasers.
there's
Yeah,
like
like little 5
the
second
teasers
teaser.
for the trailer.
Correct.
Did
Yeah.
it have the hilt? Could you tell?
Yeah, it had the hilt. I can try to find
Yeah,
it
because
right
I
now.
don't see the forks on this one.
Yeah, I think you can when he picks it up a little bit because this is a still shot, but
Right.
it is definitely a different color. I would say like something's going on. And I haven't seen very many people talk about it besides Brennan in the chat.
Oh yeah, you can. It's just looking at the wrong forks.
I haven't. I mean, I've been so deep dive into trying to make this. I haven't got a lot of
Right.
opportunity to see what other people have been saying about the trailer. But yeah, it looks black, which looks honestly dope. So yeah, there.
Yeah. It's ignited.
It's ignited and it's got both. Yeah, he's got the shot of it. So Brendan here has the shot of like one of those teaser trailers from the day before where they were saying like trailer tomorrow, Monday Night Football, tune in, and they would just like show a quick shot. And yeah, go ahead and describe what you're seeing there, Brendan.
I mean, like I said before, it's ignited, and he's clenching his fist like he's super pissed off, like one would do. And when I saw that on Reddit first, someone put the little Arthur gift where he's clenching his fist at his side.
The memes
That's
are
great.
flying, boys.
So, I mean, I got really excited just seeing that, and I was like, how could something so simple make me so excited? But yeah, so that's when I saw the hilt of the lightsaber on the ground with obviously the Praetorian guards around, or Praetorian, however you say it.
Praetorian, yeah.
Is it Praetorian?
Praetorian.
I got
We were
really
discussing
pumped.
this earlier.
Yeah, it's Roman.
That's a Roman term, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So I mean, it kind of
It's
gives some background to Kylo sparring with 2 people in the behind the scenes that have very visible staffs. They're not sabers like Luke and Rey would use, because I thought that initially, but it looks like he's going to be sparring with the Praetorian guards.
Either sparring or having an
Yeah,
actual
I mean,
conflict.
Right.
There was speculation online that maybe like Snoke, since Kylo lost to Rey, quote unquote lost to Rey,
Right.
that Snoke thought he like needed some testing to see if he was actually still with him,
Right.
and so he's like, maybe that's why he's going to be sparring them.
If he makes them like fight to the death.
No, I don't think fight to the death, but just to show that he's not a wussy.
I'm
Yeah, I
actually
saw some people saying on that on Reddit too that he's going to have to prove himself a little bit to Snoke.
I'm cool with that. Whether it's, I mean,
Well,
I'd like to see that.
And I think that is very like, not that they're Sith, but that is like very the Sith way
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm actually pretty surprised that we didn't get more of the Praetorian guards in the trailer.
Yeah, you just see them in
Well,
the background in 2
and
shots from what I
think
can
that's
tell.
because whatever we would see of them, whatever conflict they are going to be in, is
Could be
central
important.
to one of the main moments in the film.
Right.
yeah.
Possible.
Could be.
And I think part of Kylo having to prove himself goes back to the novelization where it said like Kylo thought killing Han Solo would make him stronger, but he ended up feeling like weaker after it
Right.
and conflicted by it. So I think Snoke, if he's this powerful of a being as we see later on in the slides or later on in the trailer, that maybe he can sense that in Kylo. So
Yeah, could be. Before we get stuck, let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving on. The next shot is this shot of Rey igniting. I guess Rey's saber now because that's what they're calling it.
Yeah,
but
it's a the story group refers to
the
it
first thing I noticed was a big color palette change.
as. Yeah.
Especially deep diving into going frame by frame from looking at all these black and red flames to immediately a bright blue, bright white, green, lush.
Right.
Lush as you're going to get, I guess, framing, which is really interesting. I kind of noticed here, and maybe this is me reading into it a little bit much, but she kind of seems to be a little hesitant. Maybe this is the first time she's ignited the blade. She even, if I watched it a few times, it even looks like she
the saber
lips.
she used to fight Kylo.
He
though?
means like in the film.
Oh, in the
okay.
film. No,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
because so it flies to her. She catches it.
Right.
She doesn't really have time to gather her thoughts. It seems like this is the first time where she's like really churned it on and looked at it.
Yeah,
she
conscious
even
of it.
if you watch Daisy Ridley there, it even looks like she lips the word like reassuring to herself, like okay, like she doesn't. You don't hear any
Well,
audio.
I mean,
of
she's
it.
afraid of it
Right.
because when she first touches it, she gets that whole
Yeah.
flashback,
Yeah.
and she doesn't want anything to do with it.
At this point, she's probably thinking about the gravity of the weapon she's
Yes,
holding.
yeah.
The history.
Right, which she
think she
hasn't
can
got. Which sorry, go ahead.
Do you think she can feel anything of it?
I don't know, maybe.
And you're right. She does say okay.
She says
I just
okay.
watched
Yeah,
it,
she lips the words okay to herself.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting. So it seems like she's like reassuring herself or some type of, I don't know. That's something I hadn't thought of, Sean, was the first time that she did touch it. She was like, she literally said, I never want to touch that thing again.
Yeah, she wants nothing to do with it. And she's kind of has it thrust upon her later on in the film where it's fight or flight, and she's going to fight, and that's what the weapon she has to use.
Right.
And she comes here to give it away because she doesn't want it, to give it back to Luke. So this is yours now. And he's going to say, actually,
it's yours now.
It's yours. So sucks to
I
say.
have this
it shows
green
you
one
here
right
go.
here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Cool. So I thought that was interesting.
Yep.
The flyover shot of Octo, I included this and I went back and watched the teaser, not the trailer, but the teaser trailer from it's been a month now or so. The little waves to the east of it there.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of talk about the fact that there could be this water monster. I know that's like deep dive speculation that we don't really try to get ourselves into, but I kept drawing my eyes to this one little spot on the right.
Are you talking about where it looks
like something gets
swirl?
splashed?
Yeah, there's like a swirl in the water that
Kinda
isn't
looks
getting
like-
touched by anything.
Kind of looks like the heart of Te Fiti.
It does kind of look like it, doesn't it? Moana. Now, maybe it's just a rock
Yeah,
that
looks like an
maybe the
underwater
waves
rock
are
to
hitting,
me.
but it just it was standing out to me.
Yeah.
And
I mean-
maybe I'm looking too much into it. You guys, keep
And
me
we
straight
see-
here, please.
We see Ray diving into some kind of cave with a pond or water body in it.
Yeah.
This is another one of those interesting Ryan Johnson shots where I'm surprised that it's like a straight down, like 90-degree flyover.
Right.
And also, just the size of the island. I just wonder, like, how big is this island? Because from that shot, relatively doesn't look very big.
Right. Well, we had a friend. Me and Sean had a mutual friend go, and he's been on the island.
Yeah.
And it took him. He told us, if I remember correctly, it took him a long time to walk to the top to
Yeah, I
do
People
the
weren't allowed
stairs.
to go on there.
What's that? They are. You have to get permission. You have to get a ticket, and then you
It's
have to
only
be
on
like
certain
approved.
days, yeah.
It's only on certain days. It's a protected environment,
Right.
and
I mean,
he-
you have all the porgs there, so you have to protect them.
right,
Right. Exactly.
right. So anyway, he's if I remember correctly, he told us it took him a while to walk to the top.
Yeah.
It took him like an hour or so, and they had to kind of stop a few times to take a breath. 'Cause it's a pretty long hike, it seems.
It's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, nothing 2 point there. I just thought it was important. So yeah, the hand is awesome. Somebody pointed out, and I kind of tried to analyze it. I just read this in passing on Reddit. Apparently, you can see the mark where he gets shot in the hand.
Oh, the
On
kind
here?
of dent on the back of his palm.
That's where I was looking,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's kind of half covered.
Yeah.
Like right where the sleeve is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what is that subreddit
awesome.
movie details? They'd probably
Yeah.
love that. They'd probably eat that crap up. But that's just a cool little detail. I guess I wanted to point out. I assume
really
all this
cool.
stuff here. I mean, it's obviously Octo because we've seen this
Yes.
basically this shot before.
Right.
But it is the first time we've seen him reach for it.
Yep.
so.
He is picking it up. That's interesting.
So moving on. The next shot here is the force tree. What I assume is the force tree.
Yeah. It could be.
So we're looking at the foggy shot here. Basically, we've seen it in the set pictures that leaked. I think
Yeah.
this is the first time we've seen the outside of it. If I'm not mistaken, am I mistaken?
In an actual trailer,
In trailer,
Yes.
in like official
I believe.
Which
so.
capacity,
If you see the
Yeah.
set pictures, there's also the Millennium Falcon that's
right there. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Brandon.
I mean, the hard thing with the set is, well, that's right. It's like kind of like that direct walk up. But I mean, they're probably going to film. They're not going to show like that pan. Like,
Yeah,
it's
right.
gonna
You're
be
right.
separate areas.
So yeah, the big thing for those people that aren't stupid like me and decide to read all the comics, there's a comic called Scattered Empire that a lot of people have been speculating about this tree. And basically, it takes place immediately following Return of the Jedi, correct?
Yes, correct.
And it basically follows Luke and Leia and Han with a few things they do. And one of the things that they do.
Oh, and it's Shattered Empire, not Scattered, by the way.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, you're right. It's Shattered Empire. I wrote down Scattered. Sorry.
That's all right.
So basically, that there's these two saplings of trees. And Luke takes one, and they're somehow have some sort of intrinsic force power value.
Right.
And then these people that they meet along the way, that are actually Poe's parents, take the other one.
right.
And so a lot of people have kind of been speculating, that, and I'll throw the picture up of them on. Brendan looked it up from the comic, but a lot of people are speculating that this is the tree that Luke took. But I don't know how I feel about it.
I disagree.
What do you think?
because-
Hit us
I mean,
with
it
it.
could absolutely be a force tree, But this thing is old. It is broken down, and Luke has only been here for a few years, and trees take time to grow.
But it's a forest tree.
It's a forest
so
tree.
it could grow rapidly.
Yeah,
I want it
I
to be.
disagree.
This is the.
I have no. I mean, we
It's the
obviously have no proof,
midi-chlorians.
I mean, it kind of looks like the
Don't you
tree.
say that word.
I doubt we'll get some sort of
Don't you
explanation.
take
To
it
be
back,
honest with you
Richard.
guys.
It kind of looks like the tree that's in the Jedi Temple area that Yoda's always hanging out in
yeah.
Clone Wars. That's
Kinda
what
does.
it reminds me of.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I definitely think it's some type of force-sensitive tree because this is presumably the first Jedi Temple,
right?
and that's where they would build it.
Which, and I think even if it was, this would be something that they would explain later.
Right.
Yeah, and you see in the first trailer when Luke's like, it's time for the Jedi to end, he's like in that little silhouette of him.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of speculation that he's actually in that tree.
Oh,
Not in
I
the
absolutely
cave.
believe
I
you,
think
you
so
go
too.
through that tree, it's a doorway, and you go down, and
Yeah.
that's where all the shots that there's a
Right.
shot or two later in the
Yeah,
this
and
trailer as
I
well.
skipped them because we had already seen it, or presumably had already seen it. I didn't put them in.
The
Right.
books
I get
inside.
the only thing
The
that people
book inside
have
and,
been
yeah.
talking about is the logo that's on the floor when Luke says,
what is
Yeah, I put that in here as well.
Did you?
We'll get to
Yeah,
it.
dude,
Oh, my fault, man.
it's cool, dude.
I'm
It's in there somewhere.
so sorry.
No, actually, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I was
lied.
gonna say
I meant to, and I
you're
must have missed it.
you're
But
a filthy
yeah,
liar.
I am. I am a faithful liar.
Faithful, filthy.
Filthy,
Um,
same thing.
But yeah, there's a logo. Adam, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is there a connection here? I can see, The Empire Strikes Back, where Luke finds Yoda for the first time. He has that tree house. Now we're seeing another
Yeah, I mean,
tree house.
this is actually something that I've thought about before. Is will we have another vision from Rey? Because Luke had a vision of his own in Empire Strikes Back where he sees Vader, and Vader's mask comes off once he kills him to see Luke's own face. So it'll be interesting if maybe Rey goes over to this tree and has a very similar experience,
Yeah.
perhaps with that Snoke scene we see later on.
Right. So yeah.
Why don't we table that till we
Yeah,
get to
nope,
that?
that-
frame?
Yeah, because I have something that also that I want to tie into that
Sure.
actually Alex from Star Wars Explained brought in that
Okay.
I
that
think,
is
I think that's what I was going to bring up. Too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Based on some other things.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's strong. We'll get there.
Okay.
So yeah, the shot of Luke is the next one here, which is
He's tweaking out.
yeah, he's tweaking. I told my friend he's got crazy grandpa eyes.
Yeah, he's
Like crazy
freaking out.
uncle grandpa eyes somewhere in there. You know, like a crazed. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but yeah. So I think like a lot of I don't. Maybe I want to open up this can of worms now. Maybe I don't.
Okay.
Maybe I'll wait. Oh no, I'll say it here, and I kind of want to open up the discussion. I think we may have touched on it on the podcast before, but something that I'm concerned about when it comes to the sequel trilogy
Okay.
is power creep. And for those of you who don't know what power creep is, it is a common video game term, which is essentially a lot of video games now, as they release more and more updates, characters have to get more powerful because you want the new characters to be cool. You don't want them to
Right.
suck more than the characters that you've been playing for forever. So you have to make the characters progressively better, or it's uninteresting.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to get to a point where Snoke? Because all right, here's the thing: you make Snoke too powerful, it makes Palpatine look dumb.
Correct.
It delegitimizes
that's true.
Palpatine. But if he's not powerful enough, then how he's not even a good villain.
yeah, you're right.
Same thing with the opposite with Luke, and that's what I'm also concerned about. Where we get here is Luke is talking about, I've never seen this such raw power. He's obviously surprised by her. He's freaking out a little bit. He doesn't even want to train her,
Right.
or at least is suggesting that in the trailer. And if he is super powerful, that would be awesome, right? That's cool. That's what we want to see. But he's also not the limelight of the. It would make him more of the limelight of the sequel trilogy.
Right.
So how are they going to balance the power of Snoke and Luke? Because you don't want Snoke to be, or you don't want Luke to be like, excuse my language, a little bitch. But like, you don't want him to, right?
You're right.
You don't
Oh,
want him.
yeah.
You don't want him to suck.
But I think
Right.
But at this, because I have a friend, he texted me first thing he said when he watched this. Cam, shout out to Cam. He's a faithful listener to ours. He was like, I just am not liking the way they're portraying Luke, and it's making me hate the sequel trilogy because in the Legends he is like a god for a while, a long time,
Right.
And
we
it's
missed
looking
that
like
window though.
right.
It's been 30 years.
It has been, but he's also looking like a little punk right now.
yeah, but Yoda wasn't a little B word. He was actually pretty beast
right,
for
and
who
that's
he
a,
was.
that's a point that he made.
Not
He-
in Empire Strikes Back when we see him. All we see him do is lift up a ship out of the water.
Yeah, but there's like a reverent. There's like something about him that you just know that.
Right, and I think we'll still
He's
have
like this
that.
wisdomatic sage, and here he just looks like a crazy old man.
But let me say this.
This
though.
is my concern. So that's
Go
what I'm
for it.
piggybacking on. No,
Then I'll
that's what
I'll say mine
I'm saying.
after.
This is my concern. That's end of statement. My concern has been stated.
I will say this. There's 2 times it's mentioned raw power.
Right.
So, yes, if Luke's referring to Rey and Snoke's referring to Kylo, they could have this raw power but not know how to use it.
Right.
So Luke knows how to use his Force abilities. Luke knows how to channel all of his Force strength into what he's doing. I can see how Kylo and Rey aren't as strong as Luke because they don't know how to what's the word?
Channel or maybe
focus their powers into what they're doing. So I can see that's how Luke could still maintain being a straight up G and not being weaker than Kylo and Rey, but still having them show that Kylo and Rey are significant beings when using the Force.
Right. You guys seeing my concern here? I think, Brennan,
yeah.
I agree with you what you're saying there, Brennan.
I mean, there's a possibility that, and I don't necessarily think this is the case, but there's a possibility that Snoke is talking to Luke, maybe.
That's an interesting thought.
I mean, I don't know. It seems a little bit of a stretch, but
If he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I never thought.
I know. I'm trying to process. My brain is trying to turn over how I feel about that.
I think Ike's right. Is that Rey and Kylo are obviously the focal points of the movie, and it wouldn't suit the film if Luke were to be the focus of power. So maybe Snoke could be talking to him in the past, and we're hearing that now.
maybe.
But I think that Anakin, as a character, was stronger than Luke ever became.
Okay.
And Anakin was probably the most powerful Jedi of all time.
Right.
Agree.
Which
And I
we've
think
discussed is
right.
why we think he's the chosen one.
Right, and I don't think Luke ever had that same raw ability. We see him as a kid, and he really never showed anything that special.
Right.
So all that to say, I think Luke still became a very good Jedi, and then we've had 30 years of a break, and he hasn't been fighting. There hasn't been wars. There hasn't been doing anything.
Plus, he hasn't had formal training.
He doesn't have a master. I
Right.
don't. Of course, the kid
Here's-
in me wants to see Luke go ham.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, but I think that already happened. That was this 30-year gap that we didn't see.
Right.
So we have to be ready to not see Luke fight, because I think it's extremely unlikely at this point.
I
Right.
feel like they could kind of solve this and find a middle ground between what you're saying, Sean, and what you're
Right.
saying, Ike, by giving us just one scene similar to like Yoda lifting the X-Wing out of the swamp.
Yeah.
Like if they give us something like that to just like let the audience know, okay, Luke is super powerful and he's not to be trifled with.
Maybe like a
basically.
Force Griffin transformation.
So how about this? We have a scene in this trailer where Luke is soaking wet and on the floor, like laying down, looking like defensive.
Right. And I noted that
Which
as
is-
a kind of passive, weak position.
Right.
In my slides here.
So here's what I'm thinking, is that Kylo Ren has a team, and they go to Ahch-To, and they fight.
Which we kind of see in leaked photos of
It's
that.
possible.
Possible,
that it's not like it's like it's believed, but we can't confirm quite yet.
You're right.
So I'm thinking that Kylo and his team, they go to Ahch-To, and Luke and Rey fight him off for a bit, and then there's too many, and they can't stay. But Luke stays, and he tells Rey to go. Rey gets in the Falcon, because we see the dogfight of the Falcon in the first trailer, and that's pretty much looks like Ahch-To.
I have
Correct.
another point about that here in a minute too.
So
supporting.
I think Rey's flying the Falcon, chewing the shotgun.
Yep.
Porg in the other shotgun.
They specifically don't show it, and the shots that they're flying under crate, presumably crate,
Right.
is almost identical to the shots where she was flying inside of the Devastator or whatever ship it was on Jakku.
Right. So I think that Kylo comes trying to convince Rey to join him, and she escapes. And Kylo is speaking to Luke, and that's where Luke's saying, this isn't going to go how you think it's going to.
Yep.
And that's why he sounds so angry, is because he has so much anger towards Kylo.
Yep.
He wouldn't have that towards Rey.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I personally agree with
Fear
a lot
leads
of
to
that.
hate.
I like that.
I think that's
Do you think he goes ham there?
I think there we'll see Luke fight off either the Knights of Ren or troopers, and then kind of Kylo will beat him back.
So yeah, that's also what I had made a point to my friend Cam, that I feel like one of the only ways, and maybe you're getting there, Sean, maybe you're not, that you could really, really make Luke be both powerful but also balanced is he sacrifices himself, because that's essentially what they did with Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like he gets to a point where he sacrifices himself, which is about the only place that he can essentially be both powerful but not undermined because he gets beat. Because if he gets beat, then he's not powerful enough unless he chooses to die himself.
Right.
That's true.
So that's the only place where I could see balance. So anyway, it's just some thoughts.
I got goosebumps just thinking about that.
Oh shoot, Sean, pumping out the Canon Factory.
I think we forget to mention that Luke says he's scared of it. I wasn't smart enough to be worried about it now.
Right.
And it makes me think of the Yoda saying, fear leads to hate?
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
That was so good.
Yeah.
But that plays into the next shot
Yeah.
where we see Luke's hand coming out of the ashes and the fire, which I think definitely why we see Luke now with only a metal hand, because his fake flesh got burned off there.
Yeah,
So-
I heard
Flames.
someone say that too.
Yeah.
Sorry I keep interrupting everybody.
No,
but
you're good.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of trailer breakdowns, and my favorite one so far has been the Ozzy Man.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
oh boy.
And
Ozzy Man.
No surprise.
He gets to this one, he goes, "Oh look, it's the Terminator!" And then I just laugh really hard. So
Yeah.
that every time I see it now, all I think is the Terminator shooting up from
That's
there.
so fun.
If you laugh during the movie when we see this, I'm going to punch you.
Well, we can't laugh. I can't make a noise.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So here's something that I thought was interesting about this, and I don't remember, Sean, if me and you had speculated about this before we got the Canon Factory rolling or not. Canon Factory was that maybe Luke wasn't around when the Jedi Temple had gotten destroyed.
Right.
Because
yeah,
that
was the
one shot, you just kind of see him with R2, right?
He's just falling down.
Just
yeah.
kind of like falling down on his knees.
He was definitely there.
And this pretty much says he was for sure there.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably
so
going to the bathroom.
Unless he came in,
wasn't
saw
paying
all the
attention.
rubble, and said no, and just buried himself.
buried himself in it. Yeah. So yeah.
R2, throw some planks on me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I
Scoot
thought
it
it was
over.
interesting, and this is really weird, but it's interesting that he's under a pile of wood, because you don't see a lot of wood structures in Star Wars.
Yeah, that is interesting. Huh. Peculiar. Hadn't thought of that yet. So anyway, yeah, I assume this is the Jedi Temple, all that good stuff. We know what's going on. But yeah, it's a shot we hadn't seen yet.
Yeah, I
which
love
is
it.
cool. So something, moving on to the shot of Kylo looking at his helmet here.
Sure.
Something that I wanted to point out, also, correct me if I'm wrong, where did we see the shot of the broken helmet? Was that in the Force Awakens trailer? Where was that?
That was in the last
that was in the
trailer.
first The Last Jedi trailer.
That
when we
was in the
saw
first- yeah, that was in the
broken
teaser
down
trailer?
helmet, yeah.
So yeah, and that this shot where he breaks it doesn't look like that. Also, where'd he get it?
Where do you get his
He
helmet?
left it on the.
I bet he has another
I
one.
always just,
Maybe.
that, or
I mean,
assume,
Vader's
like,
got suits to galore.
I mean, if a
so I
storm,
would
that's
assume-
true.
Yeah, if a stormtrooper breaks his helmet, he's gonna get another one. Same type of thing.
Yeah,
Especially if fanboy Vader is going to have multiple.
that's true.
helmets.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
guess
So-
I assume Hux ran back in there and got it.
Got it.
I got your helmet, Kylo.
Squire, retrieve
he'd
my
be like, no, get your own helmet.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So yeah, breaking the helmet here again. Another really symmetrical shot, almost
Right.
perfectly symmetry.
Which, can I say, when
yeah.
he breaks his helmet, I got goosies.
you got some goosies.
Because I was like, okay, we're going to have a BA Kylo. We're not a little whiny little.
Yeah, he seems pretty fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fired up and humanized though.
Yeah, so I'm interested why he's fired up here, looking at his helmet. He looks like he's. I mean,
Probably
think
if
after.
I was
he's-
looking at my helmet, I'd be reflecting on who I was.
Right. He's looking at himself as a disappointment.
Right.
so, reflecting on the loss to Luke and Rey on.
Ooh, maybe so. So yeah, I had some questions about the helmets. I feel like I guess those were not as
I
deep as
bet-
I thought.
I bet this will be very beginning of the film as we see this, because of how closely The Force Awakens ended, and we're pretty much going to pick right up there in the same
Yeah.
spot. We're going to see Kylo. Maybe we'll see him get some type of medical treatment, but probably not. And then we'll see him kind of maybe walk out of the med bay, look at his helmet type of thing, smash it, go and look be on the supremacy, go look at the
Right.
the things being built, and then go and talk to Snoke.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
think,
guessing.
me personally, maybe I'm reading into
You
it too much.
personally.
To piggyback off what Brendan was saying, I think
Yeah.
the smashing of this helmet is a signifier of I am no longer trying to imitate my dad or my grandfather. I'm
Right.
my own person now. Like, this is the old me
Yeah.
smashing it.
Let the
I'm ready
past
to
die.
go. Let the past die.
Which
Which
lets
is
the past die.
literally what is almost be said, as their
Brings
as
up. I don't think Kylo's having inner monologue when he says that. I think he's talking to Rey.
I think so
Oh,
too.
that's
I
interesting.
think for sure we're gonna have another Kylo and Rey moment. But I don't think it'll be combat
because I think
unless they're on the same side.
So Ike did the
Go
ultimate fanboy thing and started playing the trailer on repeat for 2 straight days.
I did.
And I kind of followed suit, and I let it play straight for like 3 hours before I was like, all right, I got to get back to work. So listening to the audio, though, like just listening to the trailer makes you think about it harder.
Yep.
Listening to the audio, it was like really intense, and then all of a sudden his voice is super calm in this, and I don't think he's talking to himself when he's saying that. I think he's talking to somebody else, and I would assume that would be Rey.
Huh. That's an interesting thought. I like that, Brennan. Yeah, and what was it when we were in The Force Awakens? When we were watching the trailers, some of that, I'm a little nervous because I know some of that stuff that they use in the Force Awakens trailers. Well, Luke narrated a bunch of it, didn't he?
Right, and it didn't.
And it didn't make it.
There's
So
that shot of Kylo in the forest.
but I do really like the idea of maybe this being talking to Rey. He is super calm when he says it, and I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about that.
No, I
Yeah.
think that makes sense.
There was that shot of Kylo in the forest, like the first time we saw his lightsaber.
Oh yeah, and he kind of like stomps
when
and
he-
ignites
yeah,
it.
yeah,
lights
that's
Yeah.
not even in there.
Nope.
There's a lot from The Force Awakens that did not make it
Yep.
to the film, which is actually interesting now looking back to sidetrack real quick in seeing how the Han Solo movies directors went, how Rogue One director kind of got Gareth didn't really have control, but was the director, and just all the director issues that we see. JJ might have had some similar issues, and they might have cut scenes that he may or may not have wanted. Could they put out a trailer that he had with those shots in there, and then for them not to be there at all? I think there might have been some conflict there that we just didn't see.
Yeah, that, or maybe they straight filmed it expecting it.
Yeah,
I mean,
could be.
especially with The
Yeah,
Last Jedi,
doesn't
they've
have to
had
be
so
Right.
much time to do whatever the heck they want that they could have literally just spent time shooting scenes specifically for the trailer and be done
Could
with
be.
it. It's a lot of money to dump into it, though. But
That is true.
so yeah, moving on here, the space battle kind of begins. We see some new ships, which is kind of cool.
Mhm.
We see the Silencer moving around. These resistance ships, I don't think have ever been seen before, that I can tell. Especially the one that we see. Is it the Radis? Yeah, the
that's the
Radis,
Radis.
which is a good tie into Rogue One.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Saying Kylo saying killer. We'll keep moving here. This shot as they kind of go this back and forth conflict that we see Kylo going into. I think for me. And you guys tell me what you think. It's I think one of the first major misdirects of what's going on. And my big point with it, and maybe he is having this internal conflict, and maybe it is about killing Leia. But these shots of Leia, everybody in the background is like walking around
Super
super
chill.
casually. They are not running
That's a good
around like
point.
they're in the middle of a battle. The guy in the background, like, look, you can see, like right now, just in the shot that I have here, he looks like he's like, oh, what's going on over
Which
there?
I also think that's Gareth Edwards.
I think I left my coffee over there.
It does look like Gareth
I'm
Edwards.
pretty sure that's Gareth Edwards.
It may be Gareth Edwards. I
Yeah,
would not
yeah.
be surprised if it was
I'm
Gareth
pretty sure it
Edwards.
is.
If I'm Ryan Johnson and I'm wanting to misdirect fans here, I'm gonna want them to think that Kylo is going to kill Leia right here.
Right.
He's not going to
So-
do it.
But Leia's face is the same face that she has when she's thinking about Han.
Yes, or when she's feeling something in the Force,
Right,
which is, I think, what they're trying to imply here.
right.
Here's an interesting thought. You guys ready for this one?
Let's hear it.
Called Kim Lacey. Called her up on the phone.
All right.
Oh,
I said,
Mama
Kim,
Lacey.
What'd Kim say?
this is what I need you to do. I gave her an assignment
Okay.
24 hours ago. I said, Kim, this is what I need. I need you to watch the trailer. She's like, I already watched it. I was like, I need you to watch it again. I need you to write down like a few thoughts. That's it.
Okay.
First thing she said, I said, so what do you think, Mom? She said, I think that there's a lot of things in here that aren't as they seem.
Ooh, there
And
you
I
go,
was like,
Kim. Get it. There you go, Kim.
Dang. Either I've taught her well or they did that bad with the trailer. I'm not sure. So
You taught her well.
thank you. Pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
A little toot there. So anyway, yeah, she said specifically she thinks that Leia, these shots that they're not right. Something's going on with them.
Well, okay.
And I didn't tell her, didn't coach her. She came up with this on herself. I was proud of her. Kim, great moves. Keep it up. We're proud of you.
So
awesome.
2 things need to be noted in the trailer, in the Leia shots. A, in the first one, no one's running. But in the second one, people are definitely running to
Are they?
stations. Yeah.
Huh.
And then in the first one, it looks like there's someone similar to Admiral Akbar's race that's in there. So it's kind of like a
Got that
little...
Mon Calamari
Yeah. So I think that's cool that they kind of...
throw in there. Yeah, and that's who Radis is. He's a Mon Calamari, isn't he?
Yes.
He's the main one in Rogue One.
Yes.
So anyway, for me, that's the first misdirect. And yeah, like I said, there are some people that are moving around with some purpose in the other ones, but there are some shots where people are just kind of casually walking around. And they even do a frame shake, which is like really weird, like something got hit. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's my proof. Get over it.
I'm over it.
We got this shot of Kylo here, the one that I threw up in there. And
It's Band-Aid.
he's got that cool Band-Aid, right?
It looks like graphite.
yeah.
Or like, not
He's
graphite,
more machine
but
than man now.
what was it? What is it? Carbon fiber. That's what it is. What you put on your car.
Yeah.
Need for Speed.
Did you wrap his silencer in that?
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah, my only rebuttal to myself that I could come up with about how maybe the Leia thing is a misdirect is it looks like the bridge of the ship is for sure in the sights of
You're right.
of like he's getting ready to pull the trigger, and unless they spent some time and money CGIing a different like bridge to a ship in his crosshairs.
But they never show him actually pulling the trigger.
They don't though. Yeah, so
And he won't.
I don't think he will either.
He won't.
And and I think that a good proof of that is what we see here in the next few slides, which is if everyone's right and Crate is the climax, Leia's on Crate.
Yeah.
So
Plus, if he doesn't pull the trigger, that could also open up conflict why Snoke needs him to prove himself to the Praetorian guards.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
'Cause he's,
you didn't kill your mother.
Sentiment.
How could you? Yeah.
Yeah, so next shot, we got the shot here, the Falcon flying down through what I assume is Crate because they got the crystals.
Yeah, the red.
They got the red. And to support what Sean was saying earlier, I think that they specifically in this shot and the next shot with the Porg and Chewie do not show the pilot.
Right.
And I think that's very purposeful. They're like, let's misdirect them and show them the Porg because they won't be thinking about who's in the pilot seat because there's this cool Porg yelling here. But I think that is a really good indicator that Rey, I think, is going to be piloting the Falcon.
Yeah, I mean, from
Who else would be flying it? Luke? No, I don't think Luke.
right, and everything that I mean, they spent so much time in the Force Awakens showing that she could fly it herself.
Right.
That she's gonna fly it.
And these shots of them flying down through Crate are almost exactly like the battle, the chase scene on Jakku when they're flying through the ship.
Yeah.
So
Quick bold prediction though. Episode 9, pilot of the Falcon, Kylo Ren.
Woohoo.
oh my goodness,
Easy shot.
that's so good.
It's so
In
good.
a leather jacket too. I want to see him wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah, dude, because he's gonna trade out his black tunic for brown, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh.
Super
Anyway.
Bowl prediction.
Anyway,
don't hit me with that now. I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
ready.
I'm sorry.
not ready.
I don't know if I can forgive him yet.
sorry for the feels. Yeah, that's what's gonna hurt. It's because he's gonna get redeemed, and then he's gonna fly the Falcon, and you're be like, how dare you? How dare you?
How dare you?
Yeah.
Everyone that I've talked to that had any concern about the trailer, it all had to do with the Porg.
Man,
really?
Next shot.
Get over it.
A lot of people are kind of like, I don't know. I liked it, but it's kind of blatant. Like they just want to make toys with that thing.
And you know what? That's fine. If you're gonna give a 5-second clip right there, it doesn't take anything away from the movie. The movie's
I
2.5 hours long.
See, but
Get
what are
over
people
it.
talking about? They're talking about the Porg. They're not talking about who's in that pilot seat.
True.
Right.
And that's what they're trying to do.
That
It's fake
misdirect, though.
news.
And even if that's true, the Porg can't talk, presumably. So we're not going to get a Jar Jar
Well, it's-
Binks.
His voice
True.
sounds so weird.
Right.
That audio for the it doesn't sound like real. Like that's like that was my one issue. I'm like, this does not sound like this Porg is making. It sounds like they added it in the audio in
Right.
After Effects.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, it's
Which
all
obviously,
CGI.
yeah,
so-
I know it's obviously CGI, but I'm saying like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and people saying that they're the Ewoks of the film. That's not true either because Ewoks were sentient. They weren't pets. They were a sentient race, and Porgs.
So
they
you think
can't.
maybe the Guardians are the?
The Guardians are sentient.
I'm saying you think
They're like the
then?
Ewoks. Yeah, but they'll be chill. I don't know. All right.
So the next three shots here, we can kind of skim over, and I
Yeah.
didn't really notice anything.
No, it's just the space battle above the
Some
car.
cool
And
space
Poe.
battle. The only thing that I was trying to figure out is kind of where this space battle takes place.
Above the
Is it
car.
most of you said what?
Above the car.
Dakar. Oh, see, I hadn't thought of that. So yeah, I was thinking as I was kind of watching it that maybe it was over Crate as the battle on Crate is happening, or what's going on. I'm trying to figure out the
Now,
timeline
this-
of it. But
this-
the planet is definitely green.
Yeah, this is them.
You can see there in the third shot.
This is going to be the beginning of the film and how our heroes are separated, because we're going to see Poe and Leia probably head to Crate right after this, and we're going to see Finn and Rose on their mission to Canto Bight. This is Dakar. The First Order knew that they were on Dakar. They're targeting it with the Starkiller. Once they destroy Starkiller, doesn't mean the First Order's gone. They're going to go
Right.
to Dakar to destroy them anyway.
Okay.
So,
let me ask you a question then, because this
this
is
is
what
them fleeing from Hoth.
right. So let me ask you a question, because this is something that I'm trying to figure out.
Sure.
In that case, there would almost have to be two space battles based on the footage that we would see here, because
Correct.
one that would mean that
Well,
the shot where in what you're saying ties in with something that I was trying to key in on when I was making these slides, which is Poe. We see in the other trailer, in the teaser trailer,
He's running towards his.
he's running towards his ship, and it looks like it gets straight destroyed. And now here we see it, he's flying around. And it's almost like one shot is him looking out the window. I assume he runs to a ship, but his ship gets blown up, but it's not blown up enough that he can take off. So is this one space battle or is it two space battles? Also, to further my point, one, they're attacking the what ship is that? What ship is that? It's the Dreadnought series destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
So one, it appears that they're being defensive, that they're being attacked and they're not expecting the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Another set of shots, it looks like they are flying to be offensive, attacking the Dreadnought.
Okay, so
hit me with what's going on here.
All
The
right.
third one you can even see, and they're flying over the Dreadnought.
right.
So what do you think's going on? Try to help me sort through. It looks like they're just throwing a bunch of space battle shots in.
Yes.
And from what I'm trying to pull out of them, it looks like there's two different time periods.
I think you're right. I think that we're for sure gonna. I think like the Force Awakens, it went straight to action.
Right.
There wasn't much going on. Same thing in this. We're gonna start off. We're gonna see them escaping from Dakar. We're gonna have that space battle. Our people are gonna go separate ways, and Poe is gonna have to stick with. That's where Poe's ship will get destroyed, and he's gonna have to stay on the ship, which is why he's looking scared on that ship instead of being out there in the battle in his X-wing. From there, I'm guessing that the Resistance will go to Crate to regroup. Finn and Rose will be given their task to go to Canto Bight and do whatever it is they have to do there. That's when they'll go undercover.
Okay.
So, because at this point in the film, above Dakar, Rey and Rose and Finn wouldn't be undercover yet, and we see later on that obviously they are. So I think they'll go undercover and they'll be aboard the Supremacy.
Okay.
That's where our second space battle will occur above Crate, where Finn and Rose are fighting. Like Finn's fighting Phasma because he gets onto Crate. We'll see that in a bit.
Right.
Different things like
You mean
that.
the Supremacy.
On the Supremacy. Yeah.
Yes.
So I definitely think you're right. We will see two space battles, and that's where Poe will come back in there with his other X-wing.
And it's modded, which would make sense.
Do you think
made
Rose
some
did the
upgrades.
Get a
modding?
new one.
What's that?
Do you think Rose is the one that did the
I
improvements?
think so. I think if it's
that's
not,
actually a good point. Yeah.
I think it's not Rose. I think it's Rose's sister.
Right, because Rose's sister.
Because Rose's sister does die.
Well,
No, I'm saying who did the modding? Who did like the
Yeah.
actual-
Well, Rose's sister is the mechanic.
no, Rose is the mechanic. Rose's sister is the gunner.
Rose's sister is the gunner.
Yes.
So then I think you're right then.
Yes, I think you're right as well, Brendan.
She's like, oh, hey, Poe, got this for you. All right,
Yeah.
Finn,
I
let's
see
go.
that broke. Here's an upgrade. Also, go get some revenge.
Yeah, so like in the next shots, we see Finn fighting Phasma on the Supremacy. You
Fully
see,
torqued.
you see the same construction site in the background in flames. So that'd be cool.
And
we might get a mirror shot from Ryan where we see it early on in the film with Kylo looking and it's super still, and then we'll kind of see it from far away again, completely in flames.
Oh, yeah.
Finn, for once in his life, acting like a man, yelling,
Going at
come
it.
on.
Right.
Like, I
Well-
was like, okay, Finn.
Yeah.
Those
all right.
the shots later
To
on.
quote John Boyega, Finn ain't playing no games no more.
He does say that. Yeah, and later on, he's definitely a point that I made, and we could skip by the slide when we get there. Is he's got a determined look on his face. He is no longer the
He looks
let's turn and run
PO'd.
boy. You know.
Right.
Which, I mean, we said we saw in the article with Finn and Rose, it talked about how Rose is like inspiring Finn.
Yeah.
So, finally,
That he has something kind of to fight for. But here's the thing that I put in here. After reading the Phasma book and knowing Phasma's past and seeing Finn get the crap kicked out of him twice,
Right.
not that good of a fighter, I'm scared for Finn's life here, boys. Like she wrecks. She doesn't just wreck people. She wrecks good fighters in the Phasma book.
which
Well,
and
some of the
this-
best.
Isn't she using
So Brienne
the-
of Tarth, basically.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
the same character.
Literally.
Isn't she using a weapon from her home planet?
Yeah, so she crafted that. So if you guys have read the Aftermath books, sorry, don't want to spoil it too much for you, which I don't think it will. But the essentially the ship that they used to take off and fly away in, that Palpatine had created in their escape plan if the Empire ever kind of had dissolved. That's the ship that Brendel flies and
Yeah.
crashes on her planet. She uses that to meld her armor and the spear. Is literally one of Palpatine's ships.
Yeah, his Nubian.
It's
yacht.
really cool.
Right. Yeah, it's dope.
Very cool.
Very cool close up on
Very
Phasma's
cool.
face where you see the reflection of Finn.
Yes, that got me real hyped
it's
seeing
gorgeous.
him in there.
Yep. And so now we go and we see Luke on the ground in kind of this water cavern on Notch 2.
Yeah, which Brendan brought up a good point. I put these two shots together in here. I don't even know if they're happening at the same time.
Right.
But they're both wet, so I was like, sure.
And when Rey dies in, you see a big skull at the bottom, which would assume either it's the skull of a water monster or the water monster's food, if she's
Yeah.
to fight one.
Yeah, it is a big speculation that people have out there.
I kind of think there's misdirect happening here.
You think so?
I don't think that they're in the water at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think that's they put it there, but I don't think that's what's going on.
I mean, it could be this chase scene on H2 because we see that in the teaser trailer with Rey running H2 with her blade out and everything like that. Could be, this thing I was saying before. Maybe Kylo gets there, and then now they're on the run, and Rey dives deep down into here. Maybe it's getting closer to the Falcon, and then Luke follows after kind of holding them back for a bit. Okay, Adam's showing us proof that later on in the trailer that they are in the same place at the same time.
Well, yeah, but they're both wet. I don't know if this is when she's crawling out of it or when it's raining.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
It's hard to say.
I kind of
It's
always
really hard to say.
thought that scene with Luke on the ground was in that cavern, but I guess it could be nighttime on H2 on the surface and it's raining.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, but and either way, cool. You're thinking it's kind of showing Luke is weak. He could have just lost a battle, or he could
He's
just
laying
be
on the
frustrated.
ground for some reason. Why is he laying on the ground?
Right. That's what gets me. It's like he's not just like sitting down or anything. He's clearly been beaten back to be on the ground.
Yes. So I don't know. So moving on, we got these two shots in crate. Again, some sick symmetry.
Jolteon.
Yep.
And
A wild Jolteon the Pier.
this very rare pupper.
Super rare.
The rarest of all the puppers. I think it's so cool. This is
I
one of
love
those
it,
things
man.
that I love about Star Wars, which is just like there's so much.
I can't wait for the pop.
Here's
figure
this
of
crazy
thing.
looking thing, and it invokes that wonder of the universe.
Which
and
is
I
like
think it's
there's
really fun.
so many of them too.
I'm with you
Yeah.
there. I'm calling it Jolteon until otherwise instructed.
Or
it does.
Krateon,
Look at all the
whatever.
Pokemon in this thing, man.
Yeah.
That's,
I know,
what
Poor.
Sean's wife said.
I'll call it Krateon.
Krateon.
Yeah.
And like the Guardians are
I like that.
are like the what's it, Chansey that helps out with the
Yeah, you got it.
Poke centers.
Yeah, you got it.
So yeah, also the thing that stood out to me in this next shot with the door on crate, it just reminds me of Hoth with these old style doors closing.
Yeah, we have like the space battle and the ground battle that was basically on Hoth, like separated to two different planets now.
Yeah, appears that way.
So it's interesting.
So yeah, man, this shot of Carrie Fisher, this next one of her in this super cool looking jacket
Very
that she
Blade
has.
Runner-esque.
It's killing me.
It is Blade Runner-esque. I didn't think about that. That's cool though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put tear because it makes me sad.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, going back to what I was saying earlier, what's this say about the climax? Is she on crate?
Right.
Especially if people think that crate's the climax. I'm not sold that it is, but
yeah.
a lot of people think that. If so, she's at crate at the climax.
Right.
So I don't really
that's-
know.
Maybe that's her standing in the door in the.
Yeah, that's
well,
what.
yeah,
Sure.
it definitely
I
is.
would say that's for sure.
If you
with
get on
her.
the zoom in, at first it's like, well, we're pretty zoomed out. Couldn't really tell technically, but then you get on the zoom in on her face, and top right, you can see the door frame there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this next shot that I have is a Finn. I really appreciate he is not scared at all.
Yeah, he's
he even looks like the way he's walking, like he's in handcuffs. Like
Yeah,
he
he
kind of
look-
has
he
his
doesn't- he
shoulders
doesn't
rolled
look in
forward.
control.
No, I think he's in control. I think he's leading that troop, and he's going to talk to somebody and he's.
But why doesn't he have his hat then? All officers are going to have to keep some kind
I
of
think he's been
decorum.
caught at this point.
Yeah, you might be right.
And
So he lost.
Either
to
way,
Phasma,
he's
and been
determined.
caught.
If he's in control, even if he's captured.
So he's
So
playing.
that's
The way
that's
I-
the feeling I'm
the way
getting.
I
so
see it-
he's playing the Han Solo role, like I said, where he's now going to be captured by them at the end of episode 5. At the episode,
Right.
I
episode
see.
8.
I see. Phasma determined catches him. So they bring him to the hangar, and then all of a sudden the rebels attack, and Finn gets a hold of a weapon. That's what spawns. the two of
he
them
grabs the thing, yells traitor at Phasma.
It's like poetry. It
rhymes.
repeats itself.
Yeah, or something like
fighting. I'm
that.
so pumped for this next shot, though.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
we
so
see-
these last 3 shots all kind of are
Daddy
a
Snoke.
big conversation. You know,
Yeah.
the Snoke in the throne room.
the Hugh Hefner memorialized.
Jeez.
But yeah, just the detail on his face really got me. Seeing the hair, the wrinkles.
It looks
They
so
did-
real. It
they
doesn't
did
look
something
incredible
CGI.
It does
job.
not look
An
CGI.
Incredible job.
Well, I
on
think
his
they
face.
did they say they puppet some of it?
No puppet.
Originally that
Really?
was they made the puppet, but then they
They
decided
didn't
No
use it.
They
puppet.
didn't
No
use
puppet.
it.
You're the puppet.
You're the puppet.
No puppet.
So, also this shot of Rey, the way she moves feels so unnatural. It feels almost
Right.
like horror film, where the weight of
Just
her
being
body
Yeah.
is not moving whatsoever.
Well-
but her arms and her legs and her shirt are flailing
It's
in
like
this
the,
weird way. It makes me feel so uncomfortable.
It's the
It's like the uncanny valley of movement.
it's the mastered version of what Kylo does to Poe in
Oh, yeah.
The Force
Yeah.
Awakens.
So before I know what you're gonna say,
Go for it.
but before what you say is, I want to notice one thing. In the behind the scenes, you see Rey and Finn both on crate. Whether that's actual going to be in the movie or not,
Right.
I don't know. But the outfit that Rey is wearing on Crate is the same outfit
Is
she's
the
wearing.
same as she's wearing here. Yeah.
So before you go into what you're saying I know what you're going to say referring to
Go
the
ahead.
first trailer. I just want to make that note.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. She is wearing, and we don't necessarily know from the behind the scenes if that's like confirmed, but she was in costume on Crate. We just haven't seen any shots of that are quote unquote going to be in the movie or could potentially be in the movie because it was like her and John Boyega goofing around off set, but they were in costume.
Correct.
So yeah, now having said that, I think that the biggest misdirect is the fact that this is happening in a vision.
Right.
And Sean brought this up when we were talking. You can see the Praetorian guards in the background. They're not fighting anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just chilling. They're not trying to fight. So it seems as if she's there alone.
Right.
Here she is being tortured. Alex from Star Wars Explained said this, and I tend to agree with him, that the gasping shot that we have from the teaser, the very first shot where she's
trailer.
in the first trailer where she's gasping, her hands are down on the ground. She's like obviously uncomfortable is her waking up from this vision.
And it's probably
being
waking
tortured
up from her discussion with Snoke.
Yes.
That's the over.
That is
the
what
monologue.
we're hearing her talk.
Right.
And she's
So
getting
you
this
think
vision.
Snoke was talking to her, not Kylo?
Maybe.
No,
I'm asking.
I don't know, man. I think
think
it's
it's
a really good
possible.
idea. I think it's plausible. It's plausible both ways. I mean, they did a really
Right.
good job with this trailer where they showed so much, but we still know nothing.
Right, we don't. And Matt here, he's missing out. But honestly, I don't feel like we know more or less from this trailer whatsoever.
No, I'm just incredibly more hyped for it.
I respect his celibacy, and I wish that I had the willpower, but.
And I told this to Richie. As soon as the trailer dropped, we all watched it and all on our computers chatting each other on Slack.
Right.
Watching this trailer, I'm almost 90. I'm 100%. No, I'm 99% a fan of Ryan Johnson. This got me so hyped for this movie.
Here he is. Comes
He's
back,
coming around.
banging at the door, saying.
Because all these
"Please
things,
let
I'm
me
like,
in."
I don't
But
know.
man-
Like the first trailer, I was like, yeah, it's a trailer, but whatever. And this, after seeing this, I'm like, okay, Ryan,
Yeah.
you swayed me.
You got me.
This is going to be like no Star Wars film we've ever seen, in my opinion. There's going to be a lot of overtones that might.
Second best to the Han Solo film that we're gonna watch.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
But yeah, no, the composition and the framing, like Richie was bringing up,
it's just gorgeous. man.
Incredible.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
and it is not like anything we've ever like. They've never really shot a quote unquote indie Star Wars film.
It's also like the whole trailer itself is so meta. There's the whole like Luke saying this isn't going to go how you think.
It's almost like the editor, whoever was editing it, is talking to us. This isn't going to go how you think, audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That he's breaking the fourth wall and talking to us almost.
Right.
But yeah, so these shots with Kylo and Rey here, where I need someone to show me my place in all this, is what Rey's saying.
Other misdirect.
Yeah, I think I'm honestly pretty convinced that they're not even in the same place.
No, they're
Yeah, I
not.
don't think they are at all.
So I mean, Kylo here looks like he's standing with a huge expanse behind him as you see these sparks flying in the
Right.
background. But with Rey, it almost looks like she's standing with a wall directly behind her. Now, granted, she could be against the wall and they could be talking.
I think it's just darker because I think just she's having a fireside chat with Luke on Notch 2.
Right. I think the line, I need someone to show me in a place of all this,
Right.
is her standing. I think she's standing in the tree right here, and I think she's saying that to Luke.
Yeah, I think this is like her moment to get him to train her.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a complete misdirect to the point that my mom picked up on it.
Out of girl.
But who is Kylo?
That's my question
Yeah.
then, is who's Kylo talking to or having an interaction with. I saw somebody else point out that it's kind of hard to tell if that second shot is Kylo if you kind of take out the sparks, because his tunic is pleated, everything's pleated that we see, and the one in that image we can't really tell if it's pleated or not. I think it is Kylo, but it's just
I'm pretty sure it's Kylo. Also, you can see in these two shots here, the shot cuts really, really quickly.
right.
It almost looks like the same spark falling from the sky in both shots.
I could see
It's
that.
by his head, and then it falls a little bit further, and now it's by his hand.
Right.
Maybe this is happening in the Kylo and Luke reunion, if that is a thing. Obviously, we're building on assumptions here, but like maybe Kylo's reaching his hand out to Luke and not
Yeah.
Rey.
I mean, this is at the end of the film because he doesn't have his Band-Aid on anymore.
Right. Yeah, I think the Band-Aid does tell us some things about the timeline of the
Right.
film.
It's like carbon fiber Band-Aid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the carbon fiber
His
Band-Aid.
Pimp My Ride face.
Yep.
Yeah.
My right face.
Also, just
That was from left field. I did not.
Also, just want to point out on
X don't give it to you.
that close up of
Oh my goodness.
that close up of Snoke Them pretty blue eyes.
Oh, them
Check 'em
baby,
out.
those baby blues.
peepers.
Yeah, he ain't no Sith. But
So seeing this at the end, right? This is the big thought that I've been having seeing this trailer is the comparison between Rey and Snoke and Luke and Kylo. Kylo, he might be manning up, but doesn't there seem to be like a hesitancy, or like maybe he kind of has more clarity? He's trying to he's trying to think about what's going on. And then Luke is also being hesitant with Rey, but then Rey's like, I need someone to teach me, and Snoke's like, I want to teach. I want you to come. So it's like this
Interesting.
this counter teacher, and learner.
yeah, I mean, that'd be the second time, Kylo and Luke obviously butted heads. And then Snoke's like, well, I'll give you what you want. And Kylo went to him. And now Snoke again is going to go try to reach out to Rey. Because I think when she's sitting down and meditating in that gasp scene, I think she hasn't been trained by Luke yet. And she's just trying to focus herself. And then she has that vision. And it's going to be with Snoke. And he's saying, like, he won't train you. And he's not. He wouldn't be good for you anyway.
Yeah, and I've been watching Come to Me.
Right. And then she's going to realize that it's not right and say no. And that's when he's going to attack her in that way.
Gotcha.
And she'll break out of it. That's plausible.
It makes sense.
Yeah. But you guys have any other thoughts before we wrap? Overall tie-ins, anything like that? Obviously, probably next week we're going to be talking about this again.
Right.
And kind of seeing where this kind of fits into our speculations and our theories as to how the film's going. But any other just kind of quick quips?
I think that's it. I think we covered everything. Yeah, it's going to be tough going forward talking without spoiling the trailer for Matt when he's back. But yeah, I think that's one thing I would reiterate is that the trailer gave us a lot, but it also gave us nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
So it's like
not a dang thing.
I feel like we could talk. I won't because he doesn't want to see it, but I feel like we could talk about it and not spoil anything for him, at least plot-wise.
Yeah, we'll see. That'll be one of our drinking games.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah.
But
anyway, just want to thank you guys for joining us on the Canon Factory once again.
Instagram.
Yeah, we executed Order 66. In case you guys didn't notice, yesterday we launched our Instagram account. If you guys want to find us, we're at the Canon Factory on there as well. We're going to have some different things going on there. So always be sure to kind of check out both our Instagram and our Twitter to make sure you're fully plugged in, not missing a single day of our 100 Days of Star Wars. Keep on chugging. We're well into Clone Wars. We're almost there, kind of, sort of. But it's great. We just saw Mortis. It's amazing.
Mortis arc.
But hope you guys are as hyped as we are about this trailer. If you have any questions or anything that you want us to talk about on here, feel free to tweet at us, comment on our YouTube videos, and just kind of voice your opinions and your questions, and we'd love to answer them. So once again, thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.